The soft blue glow of dozens of monitors lit up Dr. James Walker's tired face as he stared at the data streaming across his screens. It was just another quiet night shift at Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Station, hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica. At least it was supposed to be quiet. His coffee cup stopped halfway to his mouth as an alert flashed across the main screen. The signal pattern was unlike anything they usually saw from normal space background radiation. As he leaned forward to examine it more closely, more alerts began popping up from different sectors of space. "This can't be right," he muttered, fingers flying across his keyboard. The system was picking up coordinated signals from 7 different directions, all pulsing in a pattern too perfect to be natural. He had studied similar patterns for years, but never had they appeared with such clarity and purpose. James pressed the emergency communication button. Within minutes, the quiet monitoring room transformed into a hub of activity as other scientists and military personnel rushed in. General Roberts, the station commander, appeared on the main screen, his face stern even through the video feed. "Dr. Walker, explain what we're seeing," the general ordered, his voice sharp with concern. "Sir, we're detecting coordinated probe signals from multiple vectors. They're testing our detection capabilities, scanning our system with increasing intensity." James pointed to different sections of the data scrolling past. "See these patterns? They match the historical data we've been collecting for the past 50 years. The room fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. For decades, Earth had been secretly monitoring these alien surveillance attempts. They had watched and learned, building their defenses while pretending to be an innocent, developing civilization. They had seen how other worlds that responded to these probes disappeared within years. "Initiate Protocol Omega," General Roberts commanded after a moment's pause. "And get me a direct line to the Global Defense Council." Warning lights began flashing throughout the facility as massive hidden machinery came to life. Deep beneath the ice, quantum computers processed the incoming data, mapping every probe's origin and trajectory. In orbit, satellites disguised as communication relays quietly shifted their positions, their true weapons systems remaining dormant but ready. James watched as his years of research suddenly became terrifyingly relevant. He had spent his career studying these patterns, convinced that humanity needed to be ready. Now, as he looked at the data, he knew he had been right. The aliens weren't just watching, they were preparing. "Dr. Walker," the general's voice cut through his thoughts, "your analysis suggests we have how long?" "Based on previous patterns, sir, they usually launch their harvest fleets within 6 months of this level of surveillance." James pulled up historical data from other star systems they had monitored. "But they've never encountered a civilization that was actually prepared for them." The general nodded grimly. "Then it's time to show them that humanity isn't as helpless as we've led them to believe." He turned to address the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, everything we've prepared for over the last 5 decades is about to be put to the test. Activate all sleeping protocols and alert every hidden base in the system." As the room burst into coordinated activity, James couldn't help but smile slightly. Humanity had played weak for so long, hiding their true capabilities behind a facade of normal technological progression. Every probe these aliens had sent had been detected, analyzed, and allowed to report back exactly what humanity wanted them to see. The next few hours passed in a blur of activity. Deep space sensors continued tracking the alien probes, while hidden defense systems throughout the solar system remained passive but alert. Earth appeared to be going about its normal business, but beneath the surface, a massive military machine was quietly waking up. As the first light of dawn began to pierce the Antarctic night, James looked at the latest data and knew that humanity's long wait was finally over. The game of pretending to be harmless was about to end, and Earth would soon reveal just how ready they really were. The time for hiding was over. Now it was time to show the galaxy why humanity had always been the hunter, not the prey. 2 days after the discovery, Admiral Thomas Reed stood at the window of his office aboard the Lunar Command Center, watching Earth glow blue and white against the black of space. To any alien observers, the base appeared to be nothing more than a simple mining operation. That lie had served them well for 30 years. "Sir, the historical data analysis is complete," said his assistant, Robert, placing a tablet on the Admiral's desk. "You need to see this." Reed turned from the window and picked up the tablet. The screen showed a map of nearby star systems, with red dots marking civilizations that had vanished over the last century. Each had followed the same pattern. They detected the probes, responded with either fear or friendship, and were gone within 5 years. "How many worlds?" Reed asked, his voice tight. 47 confirmed cases, sir. All of them made the same mistake. They showed their hand too early. Robert pointed to specific cases on the display. The Proxima colonies, the Ta Siti settlements, all gone because they revealed their true level of technology when they detected the probes. Reed nodded slowly. Humanity had learned from these losses, watching from afar as civilization after civilization fell. Instead of building obvious defenses, they had hidden their military might in plain sight. Every asteroid mining operation was actually a battleship. Each weather satellite contained weapons that could destroy fleets. Even the lunar tourist facilities housed missile silos beneath their landing pads. A soft chime interrupted his thoughts. The main screen on his wall lit up, showing the face of Dr. Walker from the Antarctic facility. "Admiral," Walker said, his expression grim, "we've decoded more of the probe signals. They're not just scanning us. They're mapping out invasion corridors. Based on their patterns, they think we're just reaching basic space flight capability." Reed allowed himself a small smile. "Let them think that. Have they noticed any of our defensive positions?" "No, sir. Our quantum masking technology is holding. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see. A young species just starting to reach for the stars." Walker paused, checking something off screen. "But there's more. We've detected their staging areas. They're gathering forces in the Kuiper Belt." The Admiral walked to his tactical display, a three-dimensional map of the solar system. With a gesture, he brought up the locations of Earth's hidden fleet. Hundreds of dots appeared, each representing a warship disguised as something harmless. 30 years of preparation had given humanity the largest hidden fleet in known space. "Sir," Robert spoke up, "the Council is asking for your recommendation. Do we maintain our cover, or do we show them what we really are?" Reed studied the map for a long moment. The aliens thought they were hunting easy prey, just like they had 47 times before. But humanity had turned their entire solar system into a trap, waiting for this very moment. "Get me a secure line to all commands," Reed ordered. As the communication system activated, he straightened his uniform. "This is Admiral Reed. Initialize Operation Dark Mirror. All ships maintain disguise protocols but move to defensive positions. Remember, we are not the prey they think we are." Across the solar system, hidden weapons platforms powered up while maintaining their civilian disguises. Ships posing as mining vessels quietly moved into strategic positions. On Mars, massive hangar doors hidden under the red soil prepared to open. "Dr. Walker," Reed turned back to the screen. "How long until they realize something's wrong?" "At their current scan rate, they won't. Their technology is good, but ours is better. We've had decades to prepare while they thought we were just learning to walk in space." Reed looked back at Earth through his window. From up here, it looked peaceful, vulnerable. The aliens saw the same thing. A rich, unprotected world ready for conquest. They had no idea they were walking into the most elaborate trap in galactic history. "Let them come," Reed said quietly. "Humanity has played weak for long enough. When they finally make their move, they'll learn why we're the most dangerous species they've ever encountered." As he spoke, another probe signal appeared on the tactical display, testing Earth's defenses. Like all the others, it found exactly what humanity wanted it to find. Nothing but the normal activities of a young, spacefaring race. The trap was set. Now all they had to do was wait. The Global Defense Council chamber was silent as 50 of Earth's highest-ranking leaders sat around the massive oak table. The room, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, had been built for exactly this moment. World President Michael Davis stood at the head of the table, looking at each face in turn. "The time has come," he said, his deep voice filling the chamber. "We've tracked their probes, watched their movements, and learned their patterns. Now we need to decide how to respond." Dr. Walker stepped forward, his presentation appearing on the wall screens. "Their invasion fleet is gathering. Our deep space sensors show over 300 ships hiding behind the outer planets. They think we can't see them." He smiled slightly. "They're wrong." Admiral Reed, sitting to the president's right, spoke up. "Our forces are in position. Every ship, every weapon, every defense system is ready. The question is, do we wait for them to attack, or do we send them a message they'll never forget?" President Davis picked up a small device from the table, a quantum transmitter capable of sending messages that couldn't be blocked or ignored. "Show them the message we've prepared." The screens changed, showing a simple text message in every known alien language. Dr. Walker read it aloud. "To the species currently surrounding our solar system, we see you. We have always seen you. Every probe you sent, we detected. Every scan you made, we recorded. Every ship you hid, we tracked. We watched as you destroyed 47 civilizations. We learned from their mistakes. We prepared. We waited. This is not a plea for peace. This is not a request for mercy. This is a warning. Attack, and you will learn why humanity has survived every threat in its history. We are not prey. We are not victims. We are ready." The chamber remained quiet as the message ended. Then Admiral Reed pressed a button on his console. On screens across the room, hundreds of small dots appeared. Every alien probe and ship they had detected over the past 50 years, each marked with exact dates and locations. "We're sending this data with a message," Reed explained. "Proof that we've seen everything they've done. Proof that we've been watching them while they thought they were watching us." General Emma Stone, commander of Earth's ground forces, stood up. "The moment we send this, there's no going back. We'll have to be ready for their response. They might attack immediately." "Let them try," Reed said firmly. "Every civilian shelter is prepared. Our hidden fleets are in position. Our weapon platforms are ready. We've had 50 years to prepare this solar system for a fight." President Davis looked around the room one final time. All in favor of sending the message. 50 hands rose without hesitation. "Send it," Davis ordered. Dr. Walker pressed a series of commands into his tablet. The quantum transmitter hummed to life. In an instant, the message shot out across space in all directions, impossible to stop or ignore. On the main screen, they watched as the alien ships reacted. Several immediately changed position, their stealth systems dropping as they realized they had been discovered. Others began moving rapidly, clearly confused by the sudden revelation. "They're receiving it," Walker reported, watching the data stream across his screen. "Every ship, every probe, every hidden base, they're all getting our message." President Davis stood at the window, looking up at the sky. Somewhere up there, humanity's greatest challenge was about to begin. But unlike the 47 civilizations that had fallen before, Earth was ready. "Now we wait," he said quietly. "They have two choices: leave our solar system or learn why humanity has survived every threat it has ever faced." In space, Earth's hidden defenses remained invisible but alert. Ships disguised as satellites kept their weapons ready. Military bases masked as mining operations prepared for battle. The entire solar system had become one giant trap, 50 years in the making. The message was sent. The truth was revealed. Now it was time to see how the aliens would respond to the discovery that their hunters had become the hunted. The first response came 3 days after Earth's message. Captain Ann Miller stood on the bridge of the EDS Defender, disguised as a simple cargo ship near Jupiter's orbit. Her crew watched as a single alien vessel dropped out of faster-than-light travel, its sleek silver hull gleaming in the distant sunlight. "Status report," she ordered, keeping her voice calm despite the tension in the air. "Single vessel, approximately 300 meters in length," her sensor officer reported. "No weapons powered up. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. It's a request for talks." The bridge crew looked at each other in surprise. In 50 years of watching the aliens attack other worlds, this had never happened. They had never tried to talk first. "Captain," her communication officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from Admiral Reed." The Admiral's face appeared on her main screen. "Captain Miller, you're the closest to their position. Your ship will represent Earth in this meeting. Remember, they don't know your cargo ship is actually one of our most advanced warships. Keep that advantage." "Understood, sir," Ann replied. "Rules of engagement. Defend if attacked, but do not fire first. Let's see what they have to say." The Admiral's expression hardened. "But Captain, if this is a trap, you have permission to show them exactly what a human cargo ship can do." Ann nodded. Her ship might look like a simple transport vessel, but it carried enough firepower to destroy a small fleet. That was humanity's greatest trick, hiding their true strength in plain sight. She turned to her crew. "Send the response. Tell them we'll meet them halfway between our positions." The alien ship moved slowly, carefully, as if trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. As they got closer, Ann could see strange markings on its hull, symbols she recognized from Dr. Walker's briefings as belonging to the Collective, the alliance of species responsible for attacking other civilizations. Both ships stopped with exactly 10,000 kilometers between them. A safe distance, but close enough for clear communication. The alien transmission came through, translated by their computers. "We are representatives of the Collective. Your message surprised us. We request peaceful dialogue." Ann took a deep breath and activated her response. "This is Captain Ann Miller of Earth. You may speak." The main screen lit up, showing the alien bridge crew. They looked almost like tall, gray humans, but with 4 arms and large, dark eyes. Their leader stepped forward. "I am First Speaker Wren of the Collective," the alien said, its voice smoothly translated. "In 10,000 years, no species has ever detected our observation probes. Yet you not only saw them, you tracked them for 50 years without revealing yourselves. How?" Ann smiled slightly. "We learned from watching you destroy others. Every time you attacked a world, we studied your methods. We adapted. We evolved. Those worlds were harvested because they were not ready for galactic civilization," Wren stated. "But you are different. You hid your true capabilities. Why?" "Because humanity learned long ago that showing your full strength isn't always wise," Ann replied. "Sometimes, appearing weak is the strongest position of all." The alien leader was quiet for a moment. "Our fleet stands ready beyond your solar system. Normally, we would simply attack. But your deception, your patience, it concerns us. What else are you hiding?" As if answering his question, one of Earth's hidden defense platforms near Jupiter suddenly became visible, a massive station that had been cloaked as empty space. Then another appeared, and another. Within moments, the alien ship was surrounded by revealed weapons that had been there all along. "That's just a small sample," Ann said calmly. "Would you like to see more, or shall we discuss peace?" The alien's expressions showed what might have been fear, the first time in recorded history that the Collective had shown such an emotion. "Perhaps," Wren said slowly, "it is time for the Collective to consider a new approach to first contact." Ann nodded. "That would be wise. Because let me be clear, what you see now is still only a fraction of what we can do. Humanity spent 50 years preparing for this moment. We're ready for either peace or war. The choice is yours." The future of human-alien relations hung in the balance as both ships faced each other in the vast emptiness of space, waiting to see what would happen next. 3 days after the first contact, Earth's Global Defense Council gathered in an orbital station disguised as a weather monitoring facility. First Speaker Wren and 2 other collective representatives sat across from the human leaders, their four-armed forms tense with barely hidden nervousness. Dr. Walker stood at the front of the room, presenting data on the main screen. "Let me show you why attacking Earth would be your biggest mistake," he said, pressing a button on his tablet. The screen changed to show a star map of nearby systems. Small dots of light began appearing, spreading out from Earth like a wave. The aliens leaned forward, their large eyes widening. "These are not just random dots," Dr. Walker explained. "Each one is a hidden human colony. While you watched Earth, thinking we were confined to one world, we were spreading." President Davis nodded to Admiral Reed, who stepped forward. "For every probe you sent to watch us, we sent 10 ships to build new homes among the stars. We hid them using technology that makes them look like natural phenomena. What you think is an unstable gas giant in the Proxima system, that's one of our largest military bases." The aliens looked at each other, clearly shaken. First Speaker Wren raised one of his 4 hands. "Impossible. Our scans would have detected." Before he could finish, the station's window shields opened, revealing the space around Earth. The cloaking fields protecting dozens of orbital defense platforms suddenly dropped. Massive battleships, hidden for years as satellites or space debris, showed their true forms. "Nothing is impossible," Admiral Reed said firmly. "We've had 50 years to perfect our deception. Every time you thought you were watching us, we were actually studying you." Captain Miller, who had been standing quietly at the back of the room, stepped forward. "Would you like to know how many of your own worlds have human observers right now? How many of your military bases we've mapped? How many of your secret installations we found?" The alien's gray skin seemed to pale even further. First Speaker Wren's voice trembled slightly as he spoke. You've infiltrated the collective." "No," President Davis said, standing up. "We've surpassed it. While you were busy hunting younger civilizations, humanity was building something far greater. We don't just have colonies, we have a hidden empire." Dr. Walker changed the display again, showing detailed scans of collective military bases throughout the galaxy. "Every one of your harvest fleets is watched by our ships. Every one of your staging areas is targeted by our weapons. We could have struck at any time, but we chose to wait." "Why?" Wren asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Why show us this now?" Admiral Reed stepped closer to the alien delegation. "Because we're giving you a choice. Continue your policy of destroying younger civilizations, and we'll have no choice but to stop you, or join us in protecting them, helping them grow, and make the galaxy a better place for all species." The room fell silent as the aliens processed this information. Through the windows, more and more of Earth's hidden defenses revealed themselves. Ships that had pretended to be asteroids for years showed their true forms. Weapon platforms disguised as communication satellites powered up their systems. Finally, First Speaker Wren stood. "In 10,000 years of collective history, we have never encountered a species like yours. You could have struck us down at any time, but you chose to talk. Perhaps it is time for the collective to learn from humanity." President Davis smiled. "Then let's discuss the future. Not as hunter and prey, but as equals." As the human and alien leaders began their historic discussion, Dr. Walker looked out at the revealed fleet surrounding Earth. Humanity's long deception was over, but their true power was just beginning to be understood. The message was clear. Earth was not just ready for the galaxy. They had already mastered it without anyone knowing. The time for hiding was over. Now it was time to help shape a better future for all species, whether they wanted it or not. The peace talks had been going well until a young collective commander made a terrible mistake. While the negotiations continued on Earth's orbital station, he decided to show his species' power by bringing a battle fleet into the solar system without permission. Admiral Reed watched calmly from his command center as 50 collective warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Mars. President Davis and First Speaker Wren rushed into the command center, both alerted by the sudden intrusion. "This is not our order," Wren said quickly, his four hands moving in agitation. "Commander Vox acts against the collective's wishes." "I know," Admiral Reed replied, his voice steady. "And now we'll show him why that was a mistake." He pressed a button on his command console. "Dr. Walker, is the Quantum Defense Network ready?" "Yes, sir. All systems standing by." The collective fleet moved forward, their weapons charging. Commander Vox's voice boomed across all channels. "Humans, your tricks and deceptions end now. Surrender to the collective's power or be destroyed." President Davis looked at First Speaker Wren. "Would you like to tell him, or should we show him?" Before Wren could answer, Admiral Reed gave a simple command. "Activate the Quantum Defense Network." Across the solar system, hidden quantum transmitters came to life. These devices, disguised as simple communication relays, had been placed carefully over 50 years. In an instant, they created a complex web of energy that wrapped around the collective fleet. Commander Vox's voice came again, this time less confident. "What is this?" "Our weapons. They won't fire." "That's not all they won't do," Dr. Walker said, monitoring the system's effects. "Their engines, shields, and communication systems are about to." Every ship in the collective fleet suddenly went dark, their systems completely disabled by the quantum field. They floated helplessly in space, no longer a threat to anyone. First Speaker Wren stared in amazement. "This technology, it's impossible. Even the oldest collective worlds don't have anything like this." "That's because they spent their time destroying worlds instead of learning from them," Captain Miller said, entering the command center. "While you harvested civilizations, we studied them. Every species you destroyed had unique ideas, technologies, and insights. We saved what we could and learned from all of them." Admiral Reed pressed another button, and dozens of human ships appeared around the disabled collective fleet. They had been there all along, cloaked and waiting. "Commander Vox," Reed's voice echoed across space, "this is your only warning. Humanity could destroy your fleet right now. Instead, we're going to show you something else." He nodded to Dr. Walker, who activated another system. Suddenly, similar quantum fields appeared around key collective military bases in nearby star systems. One by one, their most powerful weapons and defenses went dark. "Impossible." Vox's voice shook. "Those bases are thousands of light years away." "Distance means little to quantum networks," Dr. Walker explained. "We've had decades to plant these devices throughout your territory. Every time you thought you were watching us, we were actually building this network under your noses." President Davis stepped forward. "We could shut down every collective military installation in this arm of the galaxy, but we won't. Instead, we're giving you a choice. Your ships will be reactivated in 1 hour. You can either leave peacefully and join the new era of cooperation we're building with First Speaker Wren, or..." He let the threat hang in space. Everyone watching knew what humanity was capable of now. Commander Vox's response came quickly. We will withdraw." Immediately upon reactivation. As promised, an hour later, the human ships reactivated the collective fleet. They watched as Vox's ships turned and fled at maximum speed, leaving behind any thought of challenging Earth. First Speaker Wren turned to President Davis. "Your people are either the most brilliant or the most terrifying species we've ever encountered. Why not both?" Davis smiled. "Now shall we return to discussing the future of our galaxies? This time, I think everyone understands what peace with humanity really means." In space, Earth's hidden fleets returned to their disguised positions, ready to protect the new galactic order that was about to begin. 1 month after the demonstration of Earth's power, Dr. Walker stood in his favorite spot at the lunar observation deck. The Earth hummed like a blue jewel in the black sky, while streams of ships, both human and alien, moved through space around it. Admiral Reed joined him at the window, holding 2 cups of coffee. Quite a view, isn't it? Hard to believe just a month ago we were still pretending to be a primitive species. Sometimes the best predators are the ones that look harmless, Walker replied, accepting the coffee. How are the new defense agreements coming along? Reed smiled. Better than expected. After our little demonstration, 23 former collective worlds have already signed treaties with Earth. They're practically begging to join our hidden empire now that it's not so hidden anymore. The observation deck's door slid open, and Captain Miller walked in, followed by First Speaker Wren. The alien leader had been instrumental in reforming the collective, transforming it from a predatory force into something new. The last harvest fleet has been dismantled, Wren announced, his 4 arms moving in what they now recognized as a gesture of satisfaction. The collective will never hunt younger civilizations again. Good, Dr. Walker nodded. And the development program? Captain Miller activated a holographic display showing dozens of young civilizations that the collective had marked for destruction. We've already made contact with 15 of them. Our ships are helping them develop safely, sharing basic technology that won't overwhelm their cultures. A much better approach than wiping them out, Reed said firmly. How many hidden colonies have we revealed so far? 37, Walker answered, checking his tablet. We're keeping another 50 secret, just in case. Old habits die hard. Wren made a sound that they had learned was alien laughter. You humans never stop surprising us. Even now, you keep some cards hidden. Perhaps that's why your species has survived so long. The door opened again, and President Davis entered with several other alien representatives. Their species had once been part of the collective's leadership, but now they were equal partners in the new Galactic Alliance. The final treaties are ready for signing, Davis announced. The Galactic Defense Pact will ensure no species ever needs to hide in fear again. They all moved to the conference room next door, where the documents waited. The treaties would create a new order in the galaxy, one where stronger civilizations protected weaker ones instead of destroying them. As the various leaders signed the treaties, Dr. Walker looked around the room. Humans and aliens working together, sharing technology and knowledge instead of fighting. It was better than they had hoped for when they first detected those alien probes 50 years ago. You know, Admiral Reed said quietly to Walker, some would say we're still the most dangerous species in the room. Walker nodded. Of course we are. We're the ones who spent 50 years building a secret empire right under everyone's noses. We're the ones who turned their own technology against them. We're the ones who could have destroyed them but chose to talk instead. And that's exactly why the galaxy needs humanity, President Davis added, joining their conversation. We know when to hide, when to fight, and when to show mercy. We've learned from every challenge, adapted to every threat, and come out stronger. First Speaker Wren approached them, holding what looked like a glass of water in one of his 4 hands. To the future, he said, raising the glass in a very human gesture they had taught him. To the future, they all echoed. Outside the window, Earth continued its eternal dance around the sun. But now it wasn't just humanity's homeworld. It was the center of a new galactic civilization, one built not on fear and destruction, but on protection and growth. The time for hiding was over. The time for harvesting worlds was finished. Now it was time for something new. A galaxy where strength meant protecting the weak, where knowledge was shared instead of hoarded, and where humanity's greatest trick had been teaching the hunters to become guardians instead. Dr. Walker smiled as he watched more ships arrive from distant stars. Humanity's warning had become humanity's promise. They were ready to lead the galaxy into a better future, whether through peace or power. The choice had been offered. The galaxy had chosen wisely.